Yeah, are you excited to get back on the road?
I am. I am. I'm glad I had like a little reset to be home, get it together, and now I'm ready for round two.
Yeah, I can imagine. That would just be exhausting to do that all in one go. That's so wild.
So fun.
I have obviously a lot of questions for you. I'm so excited to chat with you, but there is one person that is probably more excited about this conversation than even myself, and it's my father-in-law, who is the biggest fan of The Voice. His name is Michael. He's from Georgia, and
Ah,
asked me if he could ask you a question, so I have it for you. So
okay.
I would do a southern accent like his, but I'll butcher it. But he says, "Can you ask Kelsey how she walked into a show that's been on for so long with so many talented hosts and didn't even miss a beat?"
I was nervous, Michael. I was very nervous. Yeah, because I only knew John and I had done other roles with The Voice before, but I never, been like in the seat. And when I was up there the first day and it's like Adam Levine, Michael Bublé, John Legend, I'm like, well, I more or less grew up on their music. So I felt so intimidated, and I was like, how am I supposed to fight for these artists when I'm like, I'd pick one of them too, fair enough. But I think it's really a testament to the other coaches because they helped me feel so comfortable. And yeah, by day one of the blinds, I was like, I just want to be present and I know that I have learned a lot in my 10 years and that I have like I can give good advice. And as soon as I started like building my team and finding artists that I really believed in, I was like, all right, we're good. Let's go.
Yeah, totally. You came in strong though. I can like, yeah, you were so great from the start. So that's
Oh,
awesome.
good. Thank you.
Who's most active in the voice group chat?
Me and Michael.
Yeah.
Me and Michael, I think we're always the ones that are starting it, but then everyone feeds in. But it's sweet. It's like whether it's like, a series of nominations come out and one of us gets nominated, we're all gonna flurry into it for that. Or they'll all like one of their kids will do something cute and they'll just like be like checking in and show like their kids being cute. So it's just really wholesome and pure. And I feel like I went from being such a super fan of these guys to like, they're like older brothers and we pick on each other like that on the show, but it really is, it's built on like this respect that we all have for each other.
Yeah, totally. Especially here in Canada, I think everyone's too very excited about Michael Bublé being there. So
Yeah.
have you learned anything about Canada from him directly?
I don't know if I've learned as much about Canada as I have hockey, which
Okay.
I guess kind of maybe go a little bit synergy. I didn't realize how big of a hockey fan he was. Like that's his bit on the show. He has hockey sticks made that say Team Michael that he gives people. He has jerseys that he gives people. So he has a hockey rink in his house in
I've heard
Canada.
that. That's so
Yeah,
wild.
so, my boyfriend plays hockey, so I think that they're talking about having like a hockey bro date, and I'm like, well, me and your wife and kids are gonna be like making hot toddies and making it like an event.
That sounds incredible. You'll need to post about that at
I
least. I
will.
do. I heard that because I interviewed him a few months ago and I heard about the icing and I was like, I need to ask a million questions about that because that is so insane and like the most Canadian stereotypical thing that you
So
can do.
Canadian.
How has it been though, coming out with this album and then getting to see the reaction of fans, getting to connect with them at these shows? I can imagine that's such a surreal experience.
We played Madison Square Garden in New York 4 days after we released Patterns, which for me, planning that, and I'm like pretty ambitious, even that freaked me out because I was like, we're playing an album top to bottom. We don't even know if people have heard the whole thing at that point yet. We don't know what songs are connecting yet. Like it's just kind of a big question mark, and we just hope that it works. And I think it was such a beautiful litmus test to see that people like were invested in the music before they heard it, which told me that people were excited, which helped ease my nerves. And then to be able to play it top to bottom for the first time, we were like, okay, we broke up. Really works live. Baggage really works live. Like we found the moments, and then we were able to make this tour a couple months later really feel like it was lived in and on purpose because of that show in particular. And it's like some songs are meant to just live on records and meant to be like for people to find on their own time. But some songs are really meant to be played live with people and like be in that human connection together. And I feel like that's just the joy of music. It really is.
Yeah. Is there a song from this album that you feel like got a bigger reaction than you expected or you found was more enjoyable to perform than you originally thought?
Definitely baggage. Not to talk so much about it, but I think for me, it's a song that I started just me and my guitar, like acoustic. It was kind of almost a ballad. And then when we wrote it very it's like this blissful acceptance of the journey that got you to happiness, right? And it's messy and sometimes it's chaotic and not what you expected, but it leads you to where you're supposed to be. And it's like it's celebrating that. And we it's the second song in the set. And so I think that's really when the show comes to life and everyone's like, all right, let's go.
Yeah, totally. I like that you're teasing as well that you're going to mix up the set list a little bit on shows that are coming up, which makes sense with the release of the deluxe album as well. I saw that you performed Sorry Mom. I think it was the very first show of the tour, but you haven't performed it since. Are
No.
fans going to get Sorry Mom at any other point in time?
I think for me, I was not planning on removing Sorry Mom and doing an acoustic song every night. It just kind of happened that way. And I think truthfully, it's because every show I've ever played, whether it's as a headliner or as an opener, I've always in my set done one song, just me and my guitar. And I didn't have that in this set, and it didn't feel right to me. But I love Sorry Mom. And so I think specifically there's three shows that we had to reschedule because I got the flu. And so Toronto was one of them, and Pittsburgh, is that right? Or Philly? I get those two confused. One of those.
Remember.
And Buffalo. And so I think for those three shows, it's the end of the tour. I'll probably add Sorry Mom back in. Whatever songs we're taking out to put in the new music, I'll probably add everything back in and just end with a bang.
Yeah. And then the deluxe album came out. You're just like giving the fans all the gifts, which is so exciting. How did you navigate releasing those songs as part of this deluxe version rather than like saving them for later? Tell me everything.
I I write all the time. Like writing is my favorite thing, and I think for me, if you have music that you believe in that you're proud of, especially when you're writing it about like your current chapter, and you have like a label that will let you put it out, I think you should. And so I don't really stop writing. So I only ended Patterns because it was the deadline and it had to be done. But then I kept going, and so I felt like these songs, especially now being on tour, like the three middle songs, Put It to Bed, Future Tripping, and Cut Me Up. I was like, I want these to live in our live show, and I want them to come out so we can give them that life. And yeah, and like I'll keep writing, and then maybe it'll. I don't know what's next, but I like that. I like that kind of question mark.
Totally. That's a good way to be. And I think it keeps it fresh and things too. So that's so sweet.
Yeah.
You can release these and then immediately start performing them and share them with the
Yeah.
Cut Me Up, I am obsessed with. Can you talk more about the inspiration behind that one?
So I made this deluxe a little unconventionally because Elisa Vanderheim, who I work with as a collaborator, but she produces everything with me. She like went away to Tahiti for the holidays, like gone. And I was like, ma'am, we have to make this deluxe. And so the way that we did it is she sent me like nine different tracks, 90 seconds of a track that she made. And I would just find the ones that jumped out to me and I would write to them, and at least get ideas down until we could get together and put them down. And so for that track, Cut Me Up, the vocal chop was like the whole thing, it was all the way through. And so I kept hearing the hook of da 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 da, and it was it was very easy to hear it as I'd be okay, but it me up, and it not be cut. But I was like, Kelsey, you cannot put out a song that says F me up like that. You can't do that. So I was like, okay, let's get creative. The track sounds like it's vocal chops. I'm obsessed with true crime. And I'm always like, I was deep in watching Dexter at that point, and I was like, what if it's Cut Me Up? So it kind of like alludes to the original idea that I had in my head, but I can make it kind of like thematically down that, like knife in the back theme. So that's kind of how that all came to be.
I love that. That's incredible. My next question is about your love of true crime. So that's the perfect
Oh,
way.
yeah, 100%.
Let's go. Because I'm a true crime junkie myself. I am sometimes I think I'm a little too obsessed. Is there any sort of case that sticks with you or like a docu-series that you think about more than others?
I'm watching Fox Hollow Farms right now.
I just watched it. What the hell was that?
I don't know how it ends yet,
Yeah.
but I'm really intrigued by that one. The Crime Junkie, the actual podcast, they're on tour right now, and they just came to Nashville, and we got to go, and it was so fun because backstage, you've never seen me fangirl like you saw me fangirl over Ashley Flowers and Britt. I mean, I was like, my best friend came with me. She was like, "Yeah, you were weird." I was like, "I was weird, wasn't I?" But yeah, like they did this whole show based on this case that they haven't posted about yet. And then they came into the room afterwards, like, who do you think did it? And so like we were all talking about our thoughts on the case together, and I was like, "Ugh, this is my heaven."
Yeah. Does that mean you'll ever do a true crime podcast yourself?
No, 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 no. I don't have like no. I enjoy it so much, but I don't have that side of my brain. Like those girls, they're so smart and they understand all like the legalities of it.
Yeah,
Not for me.
I get that. Yeah, better to be a consumer.
Yeah.
As a Virgo, what is the most Virgo thing about you?
I love a list. I love a list so much that I have like a weekly planner that I just got from Amazon, and I have one on my bus and the exact same one in the kitchen. And every Sunday I make it for the week, and it's my favorite thing to cross things off throughout the day. It makes me feel so good. Yeah, so every day is listed. And even if it's a day off and it's just like get new dog food or like order groceries, I'll still write it down. Just it's very Virgo.
Yeah, I love that. That's so sweet. Before I let you go, obviously the fans love any mention of Chase, and you are so open about your relationship as well,
Yeah.
which I think people really appreciate. Are there any struggles that come with being so public about your relationship, or does it kind of just, is it pretty easy to navigate?
I mean, I think when you're two public people, no matter what you do, like there's gonna be something that someone doesn't like. But we've never really operated in that way, even individually before we met. Like we're both, he's a Virgo too, so we're both kind of wired very similarly, and we both tend to overshare and like I think we're both really proud of our lives and careers and friends and families and dogs and all that stuff. So we feel really comfortable to be able to share not only the music or the film and TV side of things, but also just like the life behind it and what makes it fulfilling. And so, yeah, I don't think we think too much about the echo chamber of what the internet can be.
Yeah, that's a good way to be. I'm a Sagittarius getting married to a Sagittarius. So the
Okay.
similar signs, it works
Yes, it does work. It does work.
totally. Amazing. Kelsey, thank you so much. Pleasure to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Sorry I was late.
Oh, no, that's
It's
okay.
not very Virgo of me.
Have a good rest of your day.
Thank you.